if you're a newbie going to LA, please be wary of what parties you're going to, what house parties, kickbacks you're going to, because these people be into other shit. What's up, you guys? It's your girl Bianca B, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new, make sure you guys check out my celebrity interviews, vlogs, and makeup tutorials. So today in this video, we are going to be talking about things I wish I would have known before moving to a big city. I've lived in LA, well, multiple parts of LA, New York, New Jersey. So I'm going to tell you guys what I wish I would have known before moving to these big cities. So I'm originally from, if you're new to my channel, let me give you a little quick backstory. I'm from Detroit. I moved to LA when I was 17. I lived in like 5 different areas in LA, in the Los Angeles area, from the Valley to Santa Monica to, I lived all over. And then I moved to New York, I moved to Harlem, and then I moved back to LA, and then I moved to Jersey. Then I just been all over the place since then. I don't regret living in a big city because I did it to follow my career and in the TV and film industry. Sorry guys, I am a little under the weather, so if I grab my water, it's because I'm struggling with talking. Anyways, I did it to follow my career. TV and the film industry is really big in LA and also big in New York, so that is why I moved to these cities. There's a couple of things that I wish I would have known. Give each city that you move to or state that you move to a year. Give it a solid year. In a year, you will learn, like, if you like the people, if you like the state, if you vibe with it. Give it a full, complete year. When I first moved to New York, I only had lived there for 8 months, so I didn't give it a full year, and I kept saying I fucking hate it, I fucking hate it, I fucking hate it. But give it a full year. Same with LA. I did not like LA when I first moved there. That is a confession, I must say. I hated it equally as much as I hated New York. I hated them the first year. I hated both states because it was just different. When you move to a state by yourself and you move and you don't really know the culture, you don't really know the environment, you have to give it a solid year because you really start figuring out if this is a place I want to be at. It is hard, like when you move. And when I moved, I was so young. I was, sorry y'all, I told y'all I was sick. When I moved, I was so young, so I didn't have family, I didn't have friends in any of these states, to be honest with you. But over time, if you give something a year, I'm telling you, it will work out. Just give it a full solid year. As you become an adult, finding a friend is hard because you are kind of stuck in your ways and you don't really want people to interrupt your stuckness, you know what I'm saying? So finding a friend in a big city is very, very challenging because you don't know who to trust. You don't know the vibe of people. You don't know people's intentions, especially if you move to a state like, you know, people say LA, people are Hollywood. But also for me, moving to New York and moving to the East Coast was really hard to find friends. I'm still trying to find friends. I'm still trying to find friends because it is so big. So finding a friend can be hard, but you will find your circle, you will find your tribe. It does take time, and it also depends on what is your personality like. Like me, I'm an introvert and an extrovert, so although I have a huge social media following, I know a lot of people, I'm also still very private. I'm also very much an introvert. I am a homebody naturally, so I have to like kind of force myself to go out. And I have a couple of going out friends, and I think that you should distinguish which friends are what for. So you have going out friends, you have your loyalty childhood friends, you got friends that you can depend on, rely on, you have your relationship friends, you have your single friends, you have your couple friends. Like, each friend is different for what they are for. So finding a friend is hard, but I promise you, you will find your tribe. The next tip is that it minimum takes about 2 years max to really know where you live, especially if it's a big city. LA, it took me like 2 years to really get accustomed to driving and knowing where and what and where it's at and where it's at and where is this place, where is that place. So me living in LA, after 2 years, I really started to know like each city and where I was going and driving wise. So I always say like driving around the cities and really get to know the city, it takes a minimum of 2 years. I still get lost going into New York like all the time, like, you know, but it is something I'm kind of getting used to. I'm kind of understanding the language more and more as I live there. Please give it 2 years or more. You're not gonna know every freaking highway. You're not gonna know every street, and that's just what it is. The next thing with moving into a big city is that dating can be extremely hard. I've seen, and I hate when couples do this, but I've seen a lot of couples move to LA together and break up. Now, here's my thoughts on this. LA is such a hard place to date, but also if you are a couple that came from like, let's say Arkansas or something like that, and you never seen like people outside of your city and how visually people look, you know, LA women look different from women in Arkansas, how they dress and how they present themselves. And I'm just giving you a story. But I've seen a lot of couples move to LA together and end up breaking up. You know what I'm saying? So be wary of what kind of city you're going into. If you are a couple, if you're moving to a big city, ladies, know what you dealing with, what kind of women you dealing with, what kind of men you dealing with before you decide to move, because you know the women look different in LA compared to Arkansas, compared to Detroit. I've seen it several times. A lot of couples from Detroit move to LA and it don't work out because you didn't do your research. Because them women look different. Them women are exotic. Them women are more out there and stuff like that. So you gotta step your shit up. If you moving with your man to LA or New York, you gotta step your shit up. You gotta know what kind of beast you dealing with. And I'm sorry, and that's just a reality, and people may hate me for saying that, but it is the truth. So for me, going back to the friendship thing, when I first moved to LA, literally all my LA friends are from Detroit. All my friends that I would be with in LA are from Detroit. I found my tribe. I found out like, okay, I'm comfortable with Detroit people, and we created like a community. It's like a whole like community of us in LA when I was living in LA. It's like a whole little tribe. So you kind of find your people, and if, let's say for example, you move from Miami and you move into New York or whatever, you go to New York and go to Miami, find your New York friends, hang out with your New York friends, find people who are from where you're from. Like, it will make it better because y'all understand the culture, y'all can relate to things. Like, Detroit people know what Coney Island is. We know what it is. Like, so you're gonna find your tribe, find people who are where you are from. If you guys all live in a new state, hang out. It's fun. Best thing I ever did. Like, my Detroit friends really made my LA experience so fucking lit. If you're introvert like me, please put yourself out there. When I first moved, I was outside. Like, I was out at every event, every networking event you could think of. Like, put yourself out there. You won't meet people unless you put yourself out there. That's just my word of wisdom. Just put yourself out there. Out here in New York, I wish I would have put myself out there just a little bit more. So I'm starting slowly but surely getting out. And the more I get out, the more I actually love the city and what it brings. Is such a beautiful city. So I just like let go of my trauma experience of moving here, because every show I worked on like got canceled. So I have this bitter, I used to have like this bitter taste in my mouth about New York and like the people and just like the industry. But once I let that go and I started thinking of like, okay, Bianca, you live here, enjoy it, embrace it, go outside, now I'm a little bit more social than what I was when I first moved here. That is a fact. Ladies, you have to be extremely street smart when you move to these big cities because people will try you. Please put on your street smart thinking cap because these people out here will try you. Don't let people know where you live. Don't just date anybody. Please have your location shared with your friends. Like, don't just be young and naive when you move into these big cities like Atlanta or Detroit or New York or Miami or LA. When you move to these big cities, please, ladies, be responsible. Do not invite everybody at your house. Don't have a huge circle of female friends or any friends that's like going out friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, really use your intuition and your street smarts when it comes to building relationships out here, because people are scandalous and scammers, and you just want to be smart with the decisions that you make. Like, you just want to. So please, ladies, my young girls in their 20s, please be smart about your friendship circle. Please don't get in situations where there's a possibility of just, you know, the most horrible things. You know what I'm saying? Like, be wary and be very smart of your friendship circle. That's why this video is so heavy on friendship, because you have to be smart and use your intuition on people. You have to put on your street smart thinking cap. Okay? And don't be around everybody that, okay, let's go to LA for a second. If you're a newbie going to LA, please be wary of what parties you're going to, what house parties, kickbacks you're going to, because these people be into other shit. People be heavy on all types of stuff, a lot of different substances. You want to be careful. If that's not your thing and you have a follower mentality, please don't put yourself in situations where you're going to regret. I personally don't have a follower mentality. Never been that way. I've been pretty much a leader my entire life. Even as a kid, I've been very like, no, I'm not doing that. No, 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 no. And it may come off as being like a bitch, but sometimes being a bitch helps you in the long run of not putting yourself in situations that can take you down a spiral or downhill spiral. There were times and situations where I was like, no, I'm not going to that party. No, I don't want to be in that room with that person. No, I'm not going there. If there were people using substances and stuff that I'm not into, I will leave. Always drive your car. Always be safe. Always look who's pouring your drink. Don't leave your drinks around. Like, ladies, we have to be smarter. We have to put on our street smart thinking cap. Don't let this good girl, goody two-shoe, what you think, high maintenance looking girl. No. My mama, one thing about my mama, she from the hood, and she really taught me like common fucking sense. Like, just be smart, ladies. You know, I can't stress this enough, and I'm not trying to be an asshole, but you have to be wary of who you're dating, who you're sleeping with, what parties you're going to. Your safety is top priority. Drive. Always have money for an Uber. Please, ladies, stop going on these dates for free meals. Have some money. Don't ever go. If you are going out on a date and you to a new city, please have some money for an Uber. At least have money for an Uber so you're not in a predicament where you're unsafe. I'm telling y'all, like, these, you gotta start thinking smarter. Y'all gotta start thinking. You gotta be extremely street smart when you're moving to these big cities. Have enough money for a fucking Uber. Okay? I'm telling y'all. Because girls just be going out on dates just thinking men are gonna pay for it. These men will set you up. Please be responsible. At least have $20 to your name. I'm telling you. I've never been out on a date. I'm being 100% with y'all. I'm never going on a date if I ain't got no money to how I'm gonna get home. I'm never gonna go out to the club if I ain't got money to get myself home. Okay? Last thing is career, because I'm like a career girl. Main reason why I moved to these big cities. Know the type of work ethic that you're dealing with your career, because everybody works differently. Even the small things as a Starbucks, right? So when I go to Starbucks in LA compared to New York Starbucks people are very, very quick compared to LA people. They work very differently, especially in the TV and film industry, and that was something that I learned over time, is that LA people are all about networking and who do you know. New York is all about work ethic. They don't give a fuck about who you know. So I had to really catch on very quickly of the work ethic. So if you are moving for a job, kind of figure out and really just observe on how they move around in their work environment and in their workspace, because each city works differently. It doesn't matter if you're doing film or corporate. Like if a job moved you to a different country, for example, you want to make sure you do the history on the country that you're moving to. You just want to kind of just be a little bit educated on how people move and what you can and cannot do. Just like if you go to LA and there's certain colors you can't wear as a black man, like it's just like little things. Just be really accustomed to a little bit, like look on Pinterest, look and do your research before moving to each city. The last thing I'm going to talk about is rent. One thing about these big cities is the rent is high, and that's just what it is. Do what works for you. Do what works for you. It's hard. So it's your girl Bianca B. Make sure you guys follow me on Instagram and Twitter at It's Bianca B. Follow me on TikTok, It's Bianca B. Also, go to shopbiancab.com where you can get my ebooks. And you know, try to level up this 2023. It's another Vlogmas. I've been trying to knock out as much videos as possible. I love you guys. Make sure you like, share. Sorry. Make sure you guys like, share, and subscribe. Bye, guys.